Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about a new interview with the new showrunner of The Walking Dead, Angela Kang. Now, it appears she did a couple of different interviews with The Hollywood Reporter, what's this one, TV Line, and then Entertainment Weekly. That would explain it, because a lot of people told me Entertainment Weekly posted this article about Angela Kang's interview, and it talked about Maggie or Lauren Cohan leaving in Season 9, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I found it on The Hollywood Reporter. So each of them are a little bit different. Before we get into that, I do want to ask you guys, how do you feel about these type of videos? Now, I took out any intros and outros because I'm actually having a new one made. I'm trying to get a particular one done. I have this idea with rain and lightning and just the map logo and stuff, but it's taken a bit finding the right person to get the right thing I want done. Maybe what I want done can't be done, but anyway, I'm having a new intro done and all that. So for now, for certain videos like this, you guys let me know how you like these. Maybe I'll get that intro, and if you guys like this style, we'll just bookend the videos with the new intro and outro coming up. Anyway, so let's jump right in. There's a lot to cover, a lot of little things and then some important things. Let's cover the first thing that just irritates the shit out of me. Nope, let's start with a positive note. I friggin' love Angela Kang. Just from the little bit we're getting, I agree with almost everything she says, you know. Now, whether or not that's going to translate well on screen and in the show, I don't know yet, but there's two things I really do enjoy. One is how she comes off in the interviews, and the other thing is when she was announced as showrunner, I actually went back and started listening to podcasts that featured her or screenwriting discussions, or just writing discussions in general, where she was a guest and she would give her thoughts and opinions on a lot of things she said. I felt more and more relieved with her being the showrunner. Now let's dive into, and I want to kick it off on a positive note, because this little bit riggs me a bit. It says, now this is from The Hollywood Reporter, and it says, what does the show look like without core characters played by Riggs, Cohan, and Lincoln, by Carl, Maggie, and Rick Grimes? She said, we started telling a story at the end of last season without Carl, and since there's so many great characters on the show, different people will step up. It'll never fill the gap that the character leaves behind, but there are other people whose stories will come to the forefront in great ways. With Lauren, she has said that she would like to come back to the show, and we would love to have her back. We think there's more story with Maggie to tell. We already have some plans brewing. Sorry, I'm already annoyed with that answer. Not at Angela Kang. I know she can't come right out and say it, but I'll explain in a second. We already have some plans brewing that I think are pretty cool. So the world of The Walking Dead moves on with whoever we have at the moment. It's what we have always done. Now, there are a couple things that I pull from this that I just don't like. I get these Daniel vibes, like the actor, whether he wasn't liking the direction the show was going and he wanted to get out, or he actually had another gig, because I believe in one article it talked about he had something going on with his music, and it was a scheduling problem, and that's why he was written out of the show for a little bit. But I always kind of felt like maybe he just didn't like the direction and he wanted out, and then he was promised they would conclude his character, then he came back and they left it open-ended. And that's complete speculation on my part, because we did eventually see that the actor playing Nick just wanted out of the show. And obviously you want out of a show that you were eager to dive into. Something has to be going on. With Lauren Cohan, we know what the problem was. It was AMC and money. There was a contract dispute, and she wanted more money than they were willing to pay her, so she went looking for other opportunities. She found one with a TV show. She did the pilot. They picked up the pilot, and now she has this show. And from the way Angela Kang makes it sound, is they filmed stuff with Lauren Cohan, and they do want her, as far as the writers and the cast and crew, they do want her back if they can get her back, and they're already brewing up ways to reincorporate her into the story. Now, my problem, though, is it going to be a Daniel situation where we get this character who just disappears? And I kind of feel like if that's the case, And they keep talking about we write in service of the story. And yes, I agree. That is the, even when you're facing a difficult decision, like something that's unexpected, like an actor has a dispute with her contract and they are leaving. Yeah, you wouldn't just start the season and go, okay, Maggie's only going to be in 5 episodes and then disappear. No, you unfortunately are put in this position where you have to write this. You were forced to write it this way in the story. And part of me feels like it's going to come off like that, you know? I already feel like she should lose the child, as messed up as it sounds, in childbirth. We should come back with Maggie, which they're probably not going to do that because they do say that she's in a happy place. But I kind of feel like the kid is the big thing. You're going to have a parent leave or disappear or be gone with a baby? Are we expected to believe that they go somewhere with this baby? But if they're going somewhere, where? So that's where I'm at. Like, I am utterly stumped with that. I just don't understand. And it is connected with Rick leaving. And recently I did that video where there's some possible information that could be correct that Andrew Lincoln isn't leaving. And like I said, my direct source that I can completely lock down as I trust where this is coming from, it wasn't made clear. It was just like, well, the news ain't accurate, bro. So don't flip. But the other thing is, I seen now firsthand. I seen some of the emails with the other member of the Matt family with their source, and something just rubbed me the wrong way. It talked about a meeting, and it talked about media running with a story that was just basically them clickbaiting. Let me just summarize it. And in a way, I kind of feel like that doesn't connect with this at all, because if that was the case, let's say if that, and again, I don't mean to call like the source a liar, or I don't mean to, but it's, for me, it doesn't connect the right way. It's like, if that was the case, why wouldn't they just come out and say, oh, guys, chill out, we're doing something, but, relax, we don't have this, it feels like the world of The Walking Dead is imploding, and AMC are staying quiet because it's true, which is not what you want to do. Right here, they come out and they're open with it. And in this article, they do ask about Andrew Lincoln. And she says, well, I don't want to spoil anything. What is it right here? Andrew Lincoln is next. AMC has not yet confirmed Andrew Lincoln. I know you can't address Lincoln's future, but what does The Walking Dead look like without those characters? This is a big reset. And she says we don't want to spoil anything. With anything that happens on the show, no matter who goes in any given season, we're always having to say goodbye to people, and it's heartbreaking for us as people, but it's always in service of the story. We just hope that people will come along the ride with us, because I'm very proud of what you're doing. Even if it is some annoying ass, way to get publicity and stay relevant, I just find that so, as a fan, I find that so stupid and frustrating. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe if I had stock in The Walking Dead, and I would be like, oh yeah, let the fans and media go wild with it. Let the clickbait roll. Let the titles roll out. This is good. Maybe if they're just looking at the numbers. But there's a part of me, and I have spoken openly about wearing down a fan base. Franchises can wear down a fan base, especially with the way you structure cliffhangers, because the stories, even though you could be piecing good stories together, if the certain way you structure all the cliffhangers or most of the cliffhangers, if it just leaves the fans frustrated instead of enjoying themselves, then that's one huge reason why I enjoy Stranger Things so much. It is just enjoyment from beginning to end. I enjoy every second of it. If it was frustrating, even though I love the story and the story was intact and you kept it the same way, but inserted frustrating and annoying cliffhangers, I would not walk away with that, walk away with the same connection to it. It wouldn't be as enjoyable because I'd be frustrated. The Walking Dead, as much as I love the zombie genre and love The Walking Dead, it does that to me on a number of different occasions, and it started mainly with the Negan cliffhanger. One of the worst cliffhangers, because again, it wasn't like, oh, you guys have to wait. No, it was like you were immersed, you were in the moment, and it was like all of a sudden someone threw cold water on you and ruined that moment. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know, somehow I wrap back around to the cliffhanger, but I feel like you can wear down a fan base with annoying shit, and I feel like this is annoying shit. All right, if he is leaving, and at this time, even though I have sources saying it's not accurate, he's not leaving. I'm still looking like the dickhead because I'm still assuming he's leaving. You know what I mean? Until I hear otherwise, I'm assuming Rick Grimes is done. I don't know about the 5 episodes, 6 episodes, but until I hear otherwise, the show will go on without Rick Grimes. I don't believe it. I don't believe I'm saying that, but I just find this petty and frustrating with what's going on. No, you don't want to ruin a story, and as someone who hates spoilers, I agree with that. But when it comes to actors wanting to move on or contract disputes, and the leaks started outside of our fan base. Keep in mind, the leaks did not start here. The leaks did not start with other fans. The leaks started, it started with a media having a source and a number of different people. And even when I went back and looked at the other articles, the only thing I found odd was I believe pretty much everything Dalton Ross does from Entertainment Weekly. And when I looked back when Entertainment Weekly confirmed with their sources that they did it, Dalton Ross didn't do that article. I believe the guy's name was Lawrence or something like that. That was the only thing that gave me like a glimmer of hope. If it was Dalton Ross, I'd be like, listen, I don't mean to be a dick, but Rick is dead. You know, we got a few people saying otherwise, but he's dead. It's just, I don't get the Shane thing. I don't get Norman's posts. I don't get the media saying they offered Norman all this money. I don't get all of it as a whole. Again, I find it annoying and frustrating. All of it. Why would you do that? There's no need to do that. And again, maybe it is to keep it relevant and to keep, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe for them, it's like all promotion is good promotion. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the biggest elements here is that Maggie will be leaving. Now, I do want to read through all of the different articles and maybe pull some of the most interesting things. But real quickly before we go, I'll keep this mainly focused on Maggie, but and my rambling rant. But one thing I loved, absolutely loved, is this moment here. This comes from TV Line, and it says, speaking of Negan, how does he fare behind bars? Since he doesn't have Carl to talk to like he did in the comics, it seems like he would be not mind-numbingly boring. And Angela Kang said that's part of the story. Incarceration, being mind-numbingly boring, especially for someone like Negan, who's used to being in a position of leadership. What does that do to him? The community thinks of him, and this is my favorite part, the community thinks of him as sort of the monster in the basement. I love that. And again, with how much he talks about being atmospheric, and I saw a funny post on Twitter. Someone said, all fans are going nuts over crumbling buildings. And I was like, I'm one of those fans. For years, I've been talking about the new beginning and the Whisperer story arc. They would benefit heavily from pulling back, doing it like a reset, taking it back to the days of old, and highlighting, number one, being atmospheric. It is the perfect time for it, and that is what we're seeing. We're seeing it in the promo images, and on top of that, we are hearing it from them. We are hearing it directly, talking about how they're dealing with society crumbling down, and now they're seeing everything else around them crumbling down, so they're not relying on gas. They're dealing with gas that is, what is that called when gas goes bad? They're dealing with, not dealing with modern, weaponry. They're primitive, making their own. They're dealing with how to reestablish civilization in a world that has crumbled through a time skip now. I absolutely love all that. Entertainment Weekly posted this image too. This image is absolutely beautiful. It is the exclusive first official look. We did get some set photos, so we did see Michonne on the horse. We did see this Western style carriage. This right here I love. If this is the same one as the behind the scenes images, it looks like a car seat from a van or something like that. Yeah, you can actually see a car seat right here. They have these car seats, and it looks like one of the benches from a van, and they modified it and put it on this wagon here with horses. I love that so much. Yeah, I don't know what it is about certain visuals like that, but I absolutely adore it. Instead of going full Western, it's this combination of the old modern world, and I say old now because it has been left in ruins because of the virus. The old world combined with the old world, how people used to live before technology. You know what I'm saying? So you take car seats out, you put them on an old-fashioned wagon. There's something about that I just find incredibly exciting and beautiful. Little things like that. And it does something to the visuals, to the atmosphere of the actual show. It just does something neat that I love. And they go on talking about that stuff. But this is... what do we got? We got the guy who used to be a savior, now lives at the hilltop. We do have a new character here. We have a girl from the ocean side. And then we have Sadiq, I believe. And is that Enid? Looks like Enid. And I would assume Maggie should be here somewhere. We got Michonne and then Carol in the background. And we will do a video. I'm trying to piece this video together that's getting a little frustrating, but it's talking about how will they open up the story for the new beginning, because if you go back and look at the comic again, there's a lot of material that deals with Magna, who's irrelevant at this point. They tried doing some stuff with her in the comic. It's just not... I want it to work out. It's just there's just no material. So Magna, it looks like that's probably just not going to happen. We already got so many people. We already got so many communities. It just doesn't make sense to start it off with Magna, even though that's something that I think would be pretty cool. And the other thing is Carl. There's a big part of the story that revolves around Carl wanting to move to the hilltop, and unless they're gonna replace him with a different character doing that, maybe Daryl or something, but it'd be totally different and weird because, you know, that was Rick's son, and Rick escorted him to the hilltop and everything, gave him permission. And then when Rick got to the hilltop, we kind of saw what they were doing. But they do talk more about Maggie and her leadership, her not being happy with Rick's decision to keep Negan alive, obviously, and she's not going to go after Rick, but it does weigh on her shoulders. And it talks more about part of the story moving forward is the community dealing with how each community is going to be run. In the comic, it was pretty simple, and then we had some type of situation happened that one community did something that the other community doesn't stand for. So it added some conflict, and we will likely see that way before we see the whispers from what it appears, from what little bit we're getting. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go through the articles. You guys, if there's anything, I'm going to put the links down below to the 3 articles here from Entertainment Weekly, TV Line, and The Hollywood Reporter. If there's anything specific you guys want to discuss, put it down in the comment box, and I will give a look through those comments before I go ahead and post a video that covers any information out of that interview. So yeah, kind of like a little rambling rant video, mainly about the Maggie thing. If you guys have any ideas about that as well, about how she can leave and then come back, a repetitive thing in the world of The Walking Dead that is getting a little frustrating. In this situation, I give it a pass, though, because I don't want Maggie to leave, but I understand there was some type of contract disputes, and it is unfortunate, but I would rather her stick around. AMC, what the hell? I mean, come on. I don't know. Anyway, thoughts and opinions in the comment box about everything and Maggie. I'm done talking. It's your turn.